My name is Jackie Bantle, and I'm going to talk about choosing seeds and plants for your garden today. So one thing you want to look for is, first off, if it's your home garden, you want to look for taste. I mean, that's why we're growing a home garden, isn't it? If we were just looking for vegetables, a large amount, well, you could actually go to the store and buy a lot of vegetables at a relatively good price. So you want to have something tasty. So generally, you can ask your neighbors if you taste a really good tomato somewhere, or a good watermelon. If someone's growing watermelons, you can say, what did you grow? And find out where they got their seed. Okay, maybe they have some seed to share, so you can borrow some seed from them. The other thing is, sometimes you will want to look at where has anyone tested any of these? Has anything been scientifically tested? And so actually at the University of Saskatchewan, we had cultivar recommendations, cultivar tests for over 25 years, almost 30 years, I think, here at the university. And I was part of that research, and it was a lot of fun. We would grow 10 or 12 different crops each year, and I gather seed from all over Canada, the United States, sometimes from Asia, Europe, and we would grow different cultivars of each crop. So for example, one year I remember we had 70 different cultivars of corn growing in the field. And so we planted it all out, and even though they were all supposed to be early and they were all supposed to taste beautiful and they were supposed to produce a lot of cobs, we studied each one. And sometimes what grows well maybe in one location where they're recommending it doesn't necessarily grow well here. So the veg research that has been done at the University of Saskatchewan is available on the gardening.usask website. And you can check on there different cultivars that were grown and what was recommended. And then sometimes local garden centers will do their own informal test trials of seeds, and they get their workers in their center to grow out different vegetables, and they come back and they found out what worked for their workers in their store, and then they make those recommendations right in store. You won't find that if you go to a big box store, because unfortunately there they don't have time to test each little variety, and they're getting vegetable seed from wherever. But if you go to some of the local centers, they can give you some advice. And like I mentioned, checking with your neighbors. The other thing is too, you have to remember that when you're testing seeds, there are hybrid seeds and there are open pollinated seeds. And I'm bringing this up because lots of times people want to save their seed, and they want to, they have a good watermelon variety or a good cantaloupe or a good tomato, and they want to save their seeds and pass it on to their friends. Great idea, but you have to make sure that your seeds are open pollinated. And if you purchase a hybrid seed, something that's fairly new in the market, or anyway, if it lists hybrid, those seeds, if you collect those seeds off of the fruit, they are not going to grow true to what you just ate. Okay, those seeds have been developed from two parents that are superior, and they've crossed those parents and collected seed and grown the plant. That's made the hybrid seed. But if you grow out those other seeds, you don't know what you're going to get. You get a wide variety of different characteristics, so it won't be true to the seed. If you want to collect your own seed, use open pollinated seed. A lot of the heirloom varieties are open pollinated, and those will be more true to the seed that you planted. So that's what you could do to provide your own seeds. There are no GMO vegetable seeds available in Canada in the stores. They are not available to gardeners. All the vegetable seeds that are available to gardeners are non-GMO seeds. So growing potatoes can be a lot of fun in the garden. And it's important though to get good potato seed, which are actually potato tubers. And so that's one of the plants that we actually clone. So the tuber that you purchase as a seed is going to be exactly the tuber that you get when you plant, when you go to harvest the plant. And so first off, Saskatchewan has an excellent reputation for growing potato seed. And we have a lot of excellent seed producers, and they're disease-free. The seed is high quality, and it gets shipped even down to Eastern Canada, as far as Eastern Canada. And so we don't want to jeopardize that industry as gardeners. And so make sure that the potato seed that you are growing is disease-free, hopefully is produced locally, like within the province. And also don't save your seed from year to year, because what happens is any diseases that you had in that seed last year will carry on to this year. and you're just jeopardizing your whole potato crop. And so you want to get clean, local, and new seed. The other thing I'd like to mention is don't get your potato tubers from the grocery store to plant in your garden. Those tubers that you're buying in the grocery store are a lower generation of seed, and they're at the end of the line. They're ready to be eaten and not to be planted out yet. The seed that you want to put in your garden is something where the tubers are only like 3 or 4 years old. They've only been growing for 3 or 4 years prior to that. The stuff you find in the grocery store has probably been grown 8 or 9 years now, and it's time to get that out of the system. It's time to eat it, okay, not to put it in your garden. When you're storing your vegetable seeds, it's important to give them the best conditions that you can in order to make them last long. Now, keeping that in mind, some vegetable seeds do not store well at all, no matter what you do. So things like parsnips and onions, parsnips, they last maybe a year, maybe 2 years, so you don't want to be carrying those through. Onions are another like 2 to 3 years that onion seed has lost its viability. And that's just the nature of the seed. That's just the way it is. But when you're storing your seeds, you want to keep them in a dry, cool location. Not cold, not below freezing, but somewhere that's dry and cool. Keep them in the dark. That doesn't matter, light or dark. And the best thing is too, if you think your seeds are not viable, you might want to do a little seed test before you do your garden. So you just sprinkle some seeds on a paper towel, dampen the paper towel, cover it with another paper towel just on the counter at room temperature. And after, depending on the seed, 5 to 7 days, check what has germinated. If you have good germination, then you should have good germination in your garden. If only, for example, half your seeds germinated or a third, then you can still use that seed, but just plant a little thicker so that you get the stand that you want in your garden. You don't have to throw out the seed, but just plant it extra seed to make up for the loss of viability.